Miami. The Miami Dolphins have been fined $1.5 million and docked their first-round pick in 2023 and a third-rounder in 2024 for illegally trying to get Tom Brady to be their quarterback, not once, but twice. Dolphins team owner Stephen Ross has been suspended, and as bad as this sounds, probably avoided the worst-case scenario. Losing his team, as the NFL ruled that he did not instruct Brian Flores to lose game, nor did anyone at the Dolphins organization partake in a tank. I'm gonna break down this Dolphins scandal. And it's titillating. That's good. Sports. Please, if you want to illegally tamper with me, subscribe to this YouTube channel. Today's episode is sponsored by Underdog Fantasy. Underdog is different than most fantasy leagues in that once you draft your team, you're 100% done managing it. They tally your best scores every week via your best lineup throughout the season. So you do nothing after drafting your team, and you can play in 3, 5, 10, 15, 25, and $100 leagues ranging from 3 to 12 person drafts. Or you can aim for the ultimate $2 million prize in the Best Ball Mania tournament. Now, I've hosted a handful of private drafts, and I've got links for more private $10 drafts in the description if you want to play against me. Come on, come kick my butt. But also, this is a great tool to prepare you for your yearly fantasy leagues against your friends. Underdog has one of the most accurate ADPs for players, and since each game has a little money on the line, if you want to do $3 or $5 mock drafts, essentially, you can get a much better idea of where players are going in the draft since people aren't bouncing after like 2 rounds like you see in free mock draft simulators. So, Underdog will double your first deposit up to $100 when you sign up with my code THATSGOOD. Again, link in the description. My private drafts are in the description, and just use code THATSGOOD to enter the Best Ball Mania 3 tournament today. Now, I wanted to start this episode with, this is the biggest scandal to rock the Miami Dolphins since Lois Einhorn kidnapped Dan Marino and the live Dolphins mascot.
He's the one you want, kill him!
No, kill him!
No, kill him!
But Ace Ventura just reminds me of a time when comedy used to be funny. Instead, Dolphins owner Stephen Ross has started a new blog called OnlyFins to recoup his $1.5 million in fines. Just remember you heard it here first when it becomes the #1 blog for dolphin porn. Now, I forgot the Dolphins were even being investigated. Trying to keep tabs on all of the NFL investigations is like trying to get an accurate total for Barney Gumbel's bar tab.
Your tab's $14 billion.
Well, all I got is $2,000.
The intricate web of investigations is more complex than the math that goes into Deshaun Watson's settlements. So, here's an excerpt from a video I did back in April when we got many of the details about Tom Brady, Sean Payton, and the Dolphins trying to make a deal happen to unite those football forces. One of the weirder stories developing, apparently Tom Brady could have been a Dolphins team minority owner and their quarterback if it weren't for the Brian Flores lawsuit. That makes a lot of sense, as the Dolphins were the one team Tom always seemed to struggle to own while in the AFC East. Now, we've been hearing about the Brady to Miami rumors for a while now, including a secret meeting that Stephen Ross allegedly tried to set up between Brady and Brian Flores on a yacht when Brady was set to be a free agent the first time around. The meeting would have taken place outside the legal tampering period, which is why it had to be secret and why it was referenced in the Brian Flores lawsuit. Now we know per Ben Volin and Pro Football Talk that the Dolphins were going to apparently bring in both Tom Brady and, get this, former Saints head coach Sean Payton as a package deal. Apparently Tom and the Dolphins were going to announce the deal as a team owner/player on Super Bowl weekend, before Brian Flores blew it all up, which also led Pro Football Talk to speculate that Flores announced his lawsuit the same day Brady retired to screw Stephen Ross out of getting Tom Brady. Now, because the NFL investigated the Dolphins per Brian Flores' claims, they found that Miami illegally tampered with Tom Brady in 2019-2020, and again in the 2021-22 season and offseason. This is directly from the league. The NFL ruled that the Dolphins had impermissible communications with quarterback Tom Brady in 2019/2020 while he was under contract to the New England Patriots. Those communications began as early as August 2019 and continued throughout the 2019 season and postseason. So maybe when Tom Brady threw this game-ending pick six in the postseason, it was because he was thinking about the Dolphins. But wait, there's more. The Dolphins were also found to have impermissible communications with Sean Payton and his agent Don Yee in January of 2022. Yee is also Brady's agent, by the way. Remember when Sean Payton abruptly retired? Well, that's probably because he knew he was going to get caught for trying to make a play to go to the Dolphins so he could coach Tom Brady. Tom Brady also retired this offseason, but that's because he thought he was going to get to play for the Dolphins until Brian Flores ruined those dreams that day or a day later or a day earlier. I can't even remember at this point. However it happened, Brady and Payton retired because this shit got messy. And then Brady unretired. What I do know is I did want to see Tom Brady be both a quarterback and an executive at the same time. Then Tom Brady, the executive, calls a meeting with Tom Brady, the owner. Tom Brady. Hi, Tom. Tom here. I just wanted to let you know, Tom, that Tom is doing a great job. Wait, Tom the quarterback or Tom the executive, which is you in this scenario? Both. Both Toms are amazing, and we love what you're doing as owner, Tom. Thanks. Okay, Tom, how about we get naked and look at ourselves in the mirror while we jerk off in our big office? Ooh, sounds good, Tom. Tom? Yep, Tom. And Tom agreed. So the Dolphins are absorbing the brunt of this punishment. But this is a stain, another stain on Tom Brady's legacy, and to a lesser extent, Sean Payton's legacy. Between Payton and Brady, they have enough gates to build a fence as long as the Great Wall, Spygate, Deflategate, Bountygate, and now Dolphingate. Roger Goodell had some pretty harsh criticisms of the Dolphins' actions. Goodell said, investigators found tampering violations of unprecedented scope and severity. I know of no prior instance of a team violating the prohibition of tampering with both a head coach and a star player to the potential detriment of other clubs over a period of several years. Goodell went on to say, I've never been so disturbed by an investigation and I just did the Deshaun Watson cases. Sean Payton is in the clear for now since he did indeed retire. And as much as I know Goodell would like to suspend or punish Tom Brady, it seems like he'll let this one slide since Goodell went overkill on Deflategate. The interesting part of this scandal is that in a way, this is a win for the Dolphins. They posted this statement, basically bragging that they have been cleared of any tanking allegations and all those other Brian Flores claims. And by other claims, they really mean to say, see, we're totally not racist, just incompetent. Did we tamper with Sean and Tom? Sure, but we never did a tank or a racist stuff. Things. We're not racists. Brian Flores put out a statement voicing his concern that while the NFL found impermissible communications and tampering of unprecedented scope and severity, he was disappointed they didn't find enough evidence to prove the Dolphins tried to tank. Apparently, Flores wrote a letter about Ross asking him to tank and gave it to Dolphins executives at the time. And the NFL investigator who investigated this case has that letter, but for some reason doesn't think it's enough to prove that Flores is telling the truth. My question is, Why the hell would Brian Flores give that letter to a Dolphins executive and not just go straight to the league office at the time? Like most of Flores's offensive attacks, giving this letter to the people Stephen Ross pays proved ineffective. That said, losing premium draft picks is a really tough punishment for an NFL team, and while the aim is to punish Stephen Ross, it really just fucks over the coaches and the players, many of whom weren't even on the Dolphins roster when this happened. There's no way to actually punish NFL owners when you think about it. Dolphins owner Stephen Ross is worth $8.2 billion, making him the 6th richest NFL team owner right now. Imposing a $1.5 million fine on him is like fining McDonald's 3,000 Big Macs after you discovered Ronald McDonald had been taking shits in the soft serve machine. Also, who cares if an owner is suspended? All that means is he is going to watch team games from his mansion, private jet, yacht, or other luxury experience, including sitting on a human posing as a chair for the entire duration of NFL Red Zone. Now, if you really want to punish an NFL owner, make them donate $100 million to a charity they find repulsive. Something that boasts racial equality or distributes wealth to the poor. Oh, that would really piss him off. Now, it's pretty funny though, to see Stephen Ross's suspension ending just in time for the Dolphins to play the Steelers. You know, the team Brian Flores coaches for now. It's also a primetime game, which is hilarious. Here's a really crazy but not so crazy theory. Did Bill Belichick orchestrate this whole thing? He was the one who texted Brian Flores when he meant to text Brian Dable. And that set into motion a chain of events that eventually led to his divisional rival losing a first-round draft pick and inking another asterisk next to Tom Brady's resume. This is quintessential Belichick, and honestly, I'm pretty impressed by the way he's found new and innovative ways to game the NFL. Bill Belichick may be the most detail-oriented coach in NFL history, and in no way do I think he doesn't know which Brian is which in his phone. The same way I don't think Stephen Belichick isn't great at performing cunnilingus. The Dolphins, despite all of these scandals, had a really strong offseason. Until today, there was real optimism surrounding the team. They bring in Tyreek Hill, Terron Armstead, land Mike McDaniel, and had 2 first-round draft picks in 2023 as their insurance policy in case Tua is not the answer. If Tua sucks, which I don't think he does, but if that's the case, Miami no longer has the ability to package their multiple first-rounders to move up and possibly get their next QB. Also, if Tua is good, they just lost one of their 2 first-rounders that they worked so hard to acquire to continue to build around him. So in conclusion, Mike McDaniel and Tua are the ones who get punished the most here. And they did nothing except be 2 men we love. Thanks for watching That's Good Sports. Please subscribe here on YouTube. Had the Deshaun Watson episode go up yesterday. Feel free to check that out if you can't get enough of me. Oh shit, I just ruined it by doing that laugh, didn't I?